What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of My Hero Academia Season 3. Overall, this was a phenomenal episode. We got to see some new characters. Well, then we got introduced to a new field character that we saw a little bit of last week, but we see a lot more of her this week. Loki, she's actually kind of like her. I definitely want to see more of her. Anyway, so yeah, let's begin. So we start off. After we have the whole recap of everything, we see Joe talking with Eraserhead, and he's like, hey Eraser, with how this test is, the first 100 to pass, the strategy is not, the key to victory is not, to immediately rush out and get out points. And he's like, yes, that's definitely the trick. The key is actually of teamwork and coordination and gathering information on your opponents so that you can find them and take them out. And so work together and take them out as a group, not just rush. Because like as Razor says, if you just rush out, the tables might be turned on you, because as we know, when you rush something, you can become desperate. When you become desperate, you end up not paying attention, you lose focus, and so it's very easy for the tables to be turned on you. Anyway, so we end up seeing so after the war, we see these new characters get introduced. Magabe, his name's Magabe, and his quirk is that pretty much he can take any things he has in his hands and stiffen them, give them some like he does to the balls. He kind of like turn them into a pseudo kind of like rockish kind of thing, kind of like Kirishima's hardening. Kind of looks like that kind of, but he just pretty much just hardens the balls, trying to give him a bit of an extra punch. Because then he heads him over to the next guy, which his name was Ekejiro, I think that's how you say his first name. I probably butchered that, but his quirk is essentially boomerang. He pretty much just throws something underground and he can tell it where to go. So he throws the balls underground. Then Jiro actually comes in there, puts her earphone jacks in these little gauntlets she has, puts them to the ground pretty much, and it's like heartbeat distort, and pretty much just destroys the ground under them to get the balls there. Which she basically says in his review that Jiro's one of his favorite characters. Me personally, I think Jiro's pretty cool, the punk rock thing. But I gotta say, oh man, dude, I wish the same day simultaneous were still going on for this arc, because as Chibi said in his videos, that this is definitely gonna be an arc where there's a lot of shit thrown at you. By that I mean information, new characters, new stuff, and I'm like, and you've really seen this. I'm not saying this is a problem, but it's just like, it's kind of a little overwhelming with all this information on you, and you gotta read so many goddamn. Like, I had to there were a couple times I had to rewind the episode just to make sure everything's stayed. Like, I wish the same day simultaneous were happening, just because this would probably be a lot more easier to understand if it was in my native language, if I hadn't read something about it. Not hating, but yeah, there's a lot of information in these episodes. Like you got some people they could probably just look at one, but me versus I'm definitely had to look it back a couple of times to make sure I got everything. Anyway, so after that, the balls still come hurling towards Minato's like, oh my god, no! And Ashino comes in there, saves the day with her acid, and then our man Tokoyami ends up using Dark Shadow. That's a special step where he combines Dark Shadow into himself, and goes like Twilight Punch or something. At this another girl, which I forget her name was Takame, something along those lines. I probably butchered, but pretty much her quirk is that she can actually go inside her body, kind of like a turtle does. Like a turtle goes inside the shell. That's pretty much what she can do with her body. It can go in itself and then out at will. So yeah, another animal type quirk user. So now we got Sue, we got this turtle chick. And so after that, we hear from the intercom that there's that we have reached a stalemate. That still nobody has passed yet. And so Deku's okay, everyone's still in the wait and see approach. Wait for but he says the battle will probably start picking up pace around here. So, and then after that after we get the new characters, stuff with the girl that can go into herself like a turtle. We see another new character which we actually saw last week, which you guys remember. His name is Yo Shindo, I believe so you say his name, Yo Shindo. He's a guy that was talking to Bakugo last week. He was like, hey man, how is he? Let's do our best. He's like, and Bakugo immediately saw through his facade like, don't I see right. Don't play that shit with me, dude. I see right through you, So we found out that his quirk is actually vibrate, which I wouldn't be surprised. There's already a ship between him and Jiro because they kind of have similar quirks. I wouldn't be surprised if it's already a thing. It probably is. Just saying. Anyway, so his quirk is vibrate. He like puts his hands on the ground, and then the ground beneath them shakes and breaks apart. And now I don't know if they're falling or if they're floating because the way it's animated, the way it looks, I can't really tell if they're either falling to their deaths or if they're falling within the earth or they're flying up. I think they're falling because we see Deku actually kind of like slips off one of the rocks and like Deku. Like so, I don't know if he's actually floating or if he's like legit or if they're falling. I can't really tell. I think they're floating, but I could be wrong there. Anyway, after that, and we have to see another part where it's the joke, where she says, like you say, we think ahead of everyone. That's kind of saying a rager. If you continue being so overconfident, you might be the ones that get the tables turned on you. Which I always say that always be humble because you never know. Because especially when you're in a fight or something, don't ever become over yeah, I can defeat anyone, because then you're just gonna get. Then you're just gonna get dropped on your ass pretty much by someone's like, oh, I thought you were the king or some shit. anyway, so after that everyone pretty much gets separated. Deku's pretty much on his own, and where we then get introduced to a new female character. Well, female character that was in there last week, but we actually know her name, and we don't get announced of what exactly her quirk is. They don't have the whole Meito his quirk. We don't get that. They don't show us where, but we can pretty much just guess just by looking at this. Okay, this is her quirk. And so before we begin on that, let's talk. Actually, we see Yorishi. I probably butchered the dude's name. We actually see his quirk in action, where we find out that his quirk is I guess airbending, and this was Avatar, or maybe he creates Tortanos. I don't really know. Anyway, so we end up seeing him. He talks about hero. I believe heroes are their parents, so let me join you in your passion. So he ends up creating this massive tornado in his hand, grabs every one of those guys' balls, and actually throws them right back on, which makes him actually be the first person to actually manage to see and manage to actually win. Though not win, but to pass. He actually took out 120 people, and the dude that's on the announcement table was like, "What? You took out 120 people? Nani?" It's so he's like, "I'm wide awake now." So then Deku goes into some thought time, but okay, I need to regroup. I need to find somebody. We need to regroup. As well as also talk about okay, we need to find him. We also need to find that he's the first person to pass. Okay. So after that, actually, we see a new film. We see her. Kami actually makes her appearance, her first real appearance. We get to see her a little bit more in action. We see she makes her appearance. She actually managed to get a hit on Deku while he was thinking. And I gotta say, Kami, I low-key kind of like her. Low-key, I actually kind of like her. Not gonna tell you oh, but Glenn, you didn't like Toga, and she's got something to her. Not really. I mean, they're both kind of crazy, but Toga is kind of psychotic. I don't fuck with psychotic bitches. I don't. No. I don't fuck with that kind of crazy. Her, she's like AJ Lee, where she's kind of manageable crazy, where it's kind of crazy, but it's not too much. It's definitely without, like I said before, it's manageable. So yeah, I kind of like her. And so, who knows, maybe the more I share, the more I like her, and who knows, maybe she might give Uraka a run for her money as best girl. I doubt it, but you never know, because I definitely see it. She definitely has a bit, she could end up being she probably could end up being one of my personal favorite female characters in My Hero Academia. Anyway, we actually see, we kind of have a dodging game with Deku, whenever she tries to get close to Deku, she ends up dodging, but when Deku tries to counter her or look in the direction she was in, she ends up disappearing. Where then actually she comes right up to Deku and actually asks him oh, you think my quirk is disappearing? Where then he grabs his arm and throws him to the ground. And then she asks oh, it's not that. I just hold my breath and clear my head, and then poof, I vanish. And so, and yeah. One thing I do gotta lie about this show, I have to mention this. I like how My Hero Academia has been about fans. Because Hiroaka does not do have most fan service. When it does, it seems like it earned it, because it doesn't, like I said, it's not like a hair man where they're doing It's all fan service every 5 seconds. It's like they space out the fan service. Like she actually puts her chest on the Deku. Now this is like a harem anime or like anything else. I swear they would have zoomed in on that shit, and like Deku would have dropped the ball he was holding on to it, and he would have lost all concentration. Thankfully that doesn't happen, and like this is like you probably wouldn't even know unless you were it's honestly like you probably wouldn't notice unless you were like really paying attention to if you were like really paying attention. Anyway, so yeah, I like that Horikoshi and Bones don't really go too much in the fans. So they do like here and there. They throw us a bone every now and then, but they don't really just like here fan service. Anyway, so we see her. Then we actually see. So then we see these other while they're debating. Deku's like, I gotta get out of here, because he said there's another group of people coming in there to take us out. So then he manages to get out of her using One for All, and that's when the group shows up. And then Dot and then Uraraka shows up. Deku manages to go and save her. We actually see Deku actually reiterate why he started using his legs, because in case you guys like he says. It's because he decided to fight against Muscular and destroy his arms. If he didn't destroy his arms, he would have been able to save Bakugo. If he was able to save Bakugo, All Might would have saved wouldn't have to fought All for One. If he didn't have to fight One for All, he would still be the symbol of peace he is. Excuse me. That he is today, or that he would have been today. Anyway, so yeah, and then we actually see, and so yeah. Like I said, I do like which in case you wonder why Deku why your legs end up being actually stronger than your actual arm, it's because your arms you do a lot of lifting with your arms, your legs you end up doing lifting your whole body weight. So of course, so your legs are definitely strong. They can definitely take the more impact of using one fall. This arm can't, because like I said, your legs are strong because they have to carry your body weight around. Which I thought that was a nice little touch of Horikoshi. Anyway, so we end up seeing him using One for All. He ends up kicking some dust around, getting the balls out of the way, manages to get Uraraka. They end up going in to hide some cover, and then actually when Uraraka does this, she actually is slowly coming towards Deku with a ball to get another one of his points in. Deku manages to get it in time and swat the ball out of the way, as you're not Uraraka. Uraraka would have used her gravity, and she would have used her quirk, and she would never have announced her position and would have become out in the open to the enemy. Who are you? And when we find out that's actually Kamiya, and we find out that her quirk is actually indeed that she can pretty much just transform into anybody. It's kind of like Clayface. Her quirk kind of looks a little bit like Clayface, the DC villain. It even kind of works the same way, where she kind of or when her Uraraka form kind of degrades and it becomes back to her normal self. It like this silver, this gray goop kind of falls on the ground, kind of like Clayface does, because he's made out of clay. So yeah, I don't know if that was Horikoshi low-key putting in a DC reference in there to DC to Clayface, or that's just me. But yeah, that's the guy's thing. Anyway, by that point, actually, Zero and Uraraka manage to show up, and and she ends up taking a lead after she says to Uraraka, Deku trusts you a lot. And that's when she takes lead. He tells Zero night, and Zero's about to go after her, but he says no, because she's not wearing her outfit. It'll be hard to get a hit on her. And so Deku, and so then she taught them about Deku. And she says hey, are you two the real Uraraka? And Zero is yeah. It's because she was she Uraraka before, and because she's not wearing her clothes or outfit, but she has this other layer of clothing on her. Already that covers up, what needs to be covered so this can air on television. Zero starts shaking down Deku, and he's like, why, but she's naked? And she's like, I was not concerned about that. She was wearing her costume. And Uraraka's blushing like crazy. Zero's blushing while he was shaking down our dude. And after that, we finish up the episode with my man Todoroki, where we see him pretty much facing off with these ninjas. They find out that their quirks are that one of their quirks is that they can enlarge item. They can enlarge tools. Like he puts up this, he throws this bolt at Todoroki and he enlarges it, and which ends up along with other things that break through his ice. He can't use his fire on because they're not made from the typical type of metal. These are from metal that can take on high temperatures of heat. And so, we end up just having a little fight between those guys. Yeah, overall, our animation was great for that part. Anyway, so, yeah. overall, this episode was amazing. In actuality, guys, this episode took me like about good 3 takes to finish, because like the last chunk of this episode, when I'm talking about Yashiru or whatever the dude's name is, and Kami, like that like Sheriff Matter would constantly glitch out on me while I was like, because I would usually do that whole part in like 1 take, and glitch out like 3 times, like 2 times, and I'm like, ugh, this is my 3rd time, and it finally works. So yeah, so this video ended up being shorter than my usual one. That's probably why, because I'm like, because I cut out a lot of stuff that I was ready to talk about, just just to keep just to keep this a lot bit short, just so I don't have to do this 3 extra times. Anyway, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you're subscribed if you're new. Follow my Instagram, Twitter, Twitter, trust below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next. Also, by the way, my final verdict for this week's episode is a 9 out of 10. So yeah. Really enjoyed this episode. Looking forward to what we have next week. We'll be seeing more of Todoroki. Hopefully we see more Kami, because like I said, I like her. I really dig her. I think if I see more of her, the more I might end up liking her. I don't know if we're gonna see much more of her outside this arc, because these guys are from a different school than UA. It's in the Class B where we might see them return. I feel like these guys might show up like they're probably going to be like the Sand guy, like the guys from the Sand Village in Naruto, where like we see them occasionally, but not really that much. Like Gaara, like we never really saw Gaara or Tamari or what's his name that much out. We saw him like once in like we saw him in like the Trinity Sands. We saw him like a quick short time, but I don't know. So hopefully we don't. Hopefully they don't go too long where we don't see characters. But then again, I know Horikoshi has so many characters he has to juggle with. I can understand if these characters end up getting the short end of the stick. Anyway, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter, links down below. As always, come back for more. See you guys next time.